Ford Field is the ultimate goal for high school football in our state. Division VI bragging rights are at stake. Next. A season filled with stops and restarts hasn't stopped Clinton from their ultimate goal. They seek school history on this Friday evening. They do so against an undefeated Montague team that last won a state championship in 2009. Today, they are ready to slug it out for Division VI bragging rights, and you'll see it here on Fox Sports Detroit. Hi, everybody. With my partner and friend, former Lions tight end Rob Rubick, I'm Matt Shepard. This has been a really trying season for a lot of people throughout our great state. Hats off to the MHSAA and these schools for getting this championship game underway. What are these kids thinking about right now, do you think?
Well, someone was asking me, there was only 125 people out per team. You think that'll affect the players? They could give any care about that at all. All they care about is the opponent across them, getting at it and not trying to make mistakes today, Shep, and come away with the victory.
Rubes, two contrasting styles offensively for these two teams today. Clinton likes to really hurt you on the ground. How unique is this offense and what makes it successful?
What makes it very difficult, and I talked to Jeremy Fielder, the head coach, is they're happy with a 3-yard gain or a 4-yard gain. They're not looking to get up over the top with the passing game. They're going to run it 95 to 98% of the time. And everything comes down in this game strategically to first down. How many yards can they get on first down? Can they get 3 or 4? It's a win. In turn, I talked to Pat Collins at Montague, and he said the same thing, but they have to limit them under 3 or 4 yards of first down. They feel they got a chance because it's very difficult for your defense to get off the field against an offense like the military academies. They just kind of pack-man the football, and they never let you get possessions.
Heck of a challenge for the Montague defense. But the Montague offense is potent and it's balanced, and it really starts with their quarterback, Drew Collins. He can really do it all, can't he, Bruce?
He's a dandy. He's got that quarterback name, too, Drew.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of good Drews that come out of this state. Drew Collins is a complete package. He threw for 22 touchdowns in the course of this year, Chef, but he also ran for about 700 yards. Talking to his coach and father, Pat Collins, he's headed to Michigan Tech, and what they really like about him is his toughness, is in his intelligence. And I told Pat Collins, the coach, he better be intelligent. He's a quarterback, and he's the coach's son. So they talk a lot of football, and he said Drew has watched football all through his life, is very, very football savvy. He understands the game, and that he says that shows in his play. But, you know, in the backfield, he's got Dylan Everett next to him, too. So they're not limited. They're very balanced. Not a one-trick pony. They can throw and run the ball.
One of the hardest workers on the team as well. As Rubes mentioned, he's going to Michigan Tech. But you know what? He has unfinished business first in his senior season. This has been a unique year for sure. Time to crown a special champion. The kickoff in Division VI is next on Fox Sports Detroit. The MHSAA football finals are brought to you by the Sparrow Health System.
Send a message right now. This is where you make a name for yourself right now. Where my dogs at? Where my dogs at? Win on 3. 1, 2, 3. Hey, we fired up. Hey, we fired up. We gather under hazy night. Rain or shadow cast and floodlights applaud for this padded battle. And brothers shoot up in armor and dance with the gridiron in unison under the spotlight, holding up their team, careful not to let them fall. Brotherhood is an equal effort, a give and take. If there's a single wrong beat, there's a chance of being consumed by flames or being devoured by an opponent's rabid will. What you don't see is a season of long days, aching muscles drenched in sweat. What you don't see is the bone-shattering stomps of triumph, followed by slow grind and hard fall before any confetti can shower. What you get is glory mixed with unforgivable pain, a feeling you chase for the rest of your life. Tied to one another by battle cry, this game is a rite of passage, a test of loyalty to self, to team. In the heat of adversity, this night can turn blisters into gold. Turf and the sanction, cleats from dirt razors, and to Hermes winged boots. And we all could fly. You could feel it by the thunder.
That'll give you goosebumps. That'll make you run through a wall. Football on a Friday evening at Ford Field with bragging rights in Division 6 on the line. Alongside Rob Rubick, I'm Matt Shepard. We welcome on our good friend, the third member of our broadcast team. Lucky to have Trevor Thompson aboard. Trev?
Shep, it's great to be with you guys and everybody watching here today, and I want to tell you a story about Clinton place kicker Jonathan Bakke. He had a very special moment in the playoffs already. He kicked the game-winning field goal on the final play of the game to give his team a 16-13 win over Blissfield. But what makes it more special is what Bakke has been through in his childhood. He was born with just 25% kidney function in one kidney, 75% in another. Made for a tough childhood, but in 2015, he had the kidney transplant. His dad supplied the kidney, but he thought his football playing days were over. They weren't. He became a kicker, safest place on the field for him, and then became a Clinton High School football legend by kicking the biggest field goal in that school's history. That is, until today. We'll see what he comes up with here. Back to you.
Trev, you root for young men like that, don't you? For sure. He's ready to kick it off. Isaac Jarka and Dylan Everett are back deep for Montague, who won the coin flip and chose to receive the football. They want to score, and they have to possess it because they know that's what Clinton does as well as any team in the state. A squib kick that'll be fielded right around the 30, and a fumble, but jumped on it at the 41 was Zachary Nelson.
Number 4, Zachary Nelson with the kick return from the 28.
So here comes the Montague offense. It's an offense that averages almost 49 points per game, led by that man, Drew Collins. What do you like most about his game, Rob Rubick?
I think his intelligence, and as I said in the open, Shep, being the son of the head coach, all you do is go home at night. You don't necessarily talk about how your day was. You talk about football practice. So you're absorbing a lot from your father, who's been doing an outstanding job at Montague for years.
Has the ability to do everything, and he'll throw it on first down. Nice shifty move all the way out into Clinton territory. Tug Nichols. Make him tug the chains on the far side for a first down.
Well, you're going to see a lot of 10 personnel. You have to get through this quick, Shep. They're going to try to get the athletes. This time, Nichols, the ball in space. It's like running a sweep. You just get it out quicker through the passing game.
Empty backfield for Collins. He'll throw it again. A bubble screen broken up nicely. A good job jumping the route there by Zach Shadley.
Play was broken up by
the starters for Montague. Up front, that line averages 6'3", 250. Walker Martin will play at Grand Valley. He's a 3-year starter at the left guard. Hayden McDonald's a 2-year starter at the center spot.
2nd and 10 from the 45.
Nichols, who caught the first pass, leads him in receptions and receiving yards. And Dylan Everett is the bell cow on the ground. Off play action. Collins dumps it underneath, and a nice play to get past the 35 to the 34 should be enough for another first down for Tug Nichols.
We're going to look at one of the reasons why Drew Collins is one of the top quarterbacks in the state of Michigan. This is a rollout. They run a little bit of a choice route outside, out of a bunch look where they're going to separate people, but look how he is able to get outside the pocket. The defensive end loses contain in that situation. Tommy Burt does, and he keeps his eyes downfield, stays calm, delivers a strike.
On a quarterback draw to the 32. Brandon Feltz made the stop. Feltz and his brother William Feltz. William is the senior. Brandon is the sophomore. Both over 280. They're the run stuffers. Tommy Burt off the edge. First year playing football. What a story he is. Trevor Thompson will have more on that later in our program. And Ridge Aarons leads the team in interceptions with 5 in that secondary. 2nd down and long. Backpedaling his way for a decent gain, Dylan Everett inside the 30.
So much of this offense is predicated on the quarterback, Drew Collins, reading as he goes. I asked Coach a couple times, well, what are your bread and butter plays? He says, just depends what Drew sees on there. He has so many options, from not only from checking from run to pass, but what type of run, how thin or how heavy is the box.
This time he keeps it. Follows Everett through the hole. Leaning close to the 25. Needed to get to the 23 for a first down. That'll bring up 4th down. It's a really good offense, folks. 76 touchdowns on the year.
In watching this situation, a lot of schools are 4th and 3. Automatically at this level are going to run the ball. With a quarterback like Collins and the receivers they have outside, very comfortable throwing here too.
This is Dylan Everett. He's got the first down.
Dylan Everett.
Tyler Bowles in on the tackle.
Wildcats.
We're just going to see right here. Everett's going to get it coming inside. It's going to be just a quick give. They're going to pull. They're going to pull the guard, kind of squeeze it down, and then it's just a little inside zone play. And that's, once again, he's reading. Collins is going to read that. He sees it light inside. He gives it.
And a fresh set of downs. Collins again on the keeper to the 21. Braden Randolph, number 44 in white, making the tackle.
Tackled by Randolph. 1 yard gain, 2nd and 9.
Randolph, a 3-year starter, a 2-year captain, really the heart and soul of this Clinton defense.
Let's get a look here. Let's see what the coverage is. Looks like they're playing man, Shep. You see up here, you got 2 guys. Looks like they're manning up outside.
2nd and 9. They're going to put it on the ground, and they're going nowhere. Good penetration by Braden Lehman and Braden Randolph.
I'm a little surprised that they stayed with the run call in that situation, because when you see the man outside, that means the box is going to be pretty heavy. And you still see right there, you can see 6 people inside. A nice job getting penetration by Braden Lehman, getting into the next level and getting in the backfield.
6 in white, just a sophomore, mobile and rangy, 3rd down and long. A quick throw to the out, and it's caught shy of the first down, hauled in by Owen Peterson, his 22nd rock of the year.
Just a catch and throw by Drew Collins. And a lot of confidence in these receivers, and you know why? Because you look at their numbers, all very similar. How Clinton has 4 running backs, Shep, they're all, 10, 12 touchdowns, all about 800 yards. All these receivers' numbers are comparable, about 5 or 6 touchdowns and around 400 yards each.
4th and 4 for Collins and the Montague Wildcats.
2nd, 4th down in this series. That's the last time they ran it. 4th and 4.
Empty set now. It'll be Collins on the right side. That second effort, squeezed it inside the 10 to get the first down. Good push by his offensive line up front, huh?
Yeah, they're just running some quarterback power, which means he's going to read. The motion back's going to go by him here. As he goes by, he's going to read him. When he pulls it, he follows the left guard. He's going to turn up through the hole. Nice job. Quarterback power. Basic, you see a lot of teams run this now, but it's how you execute it. Can you get clean through there, as Collins just did?
Needed 4, got 7. 1st and goal. Collins wants to throw for the corner, wide open is Sam Smith, and incomplete.
Collins has incomplete. He intended for 25, Samuel Smith. Number 12, Ridge Aarons was there defensively for the Redskins.
Missed opportunity there for Montague. It'll be 2nd and goal. First possession of the game, the 13th play of the drive coming here.
See man coverage up top.
Off the play action, on a slant touchdown throw. Sam Smith hauled it in. And a touchdown drive on the opening drive for Montague.
Oh, a little bit of a rub route, what you see on this touchdown, Jeff. You see this a lot in the NFL on the collegiate level. Pretty high tech, high level. We're going to take this inside guy out, and we're just going to run the outside underneath it, try to create a little bit of pick, natural pick there, and they throw it in behind. So nice little rub route. It's one of those routes that you don't see a lot in high school, so you don't know how the officials are going to call it, because it looked like he might have tried to get in his way intentionally. No call. Montague capitalizes.
And the extra point is good from Andrew Cooey. Drew Collins does the reading, and he read everything very well on that drive, especially the slant to fellow senior Sam Smith. Montague leads early on in Division 6 on Fox Sports Detroit. Nice opening drive for Montague. Collins to Smith from 9 yards out, capped off a 13-play drive, covering 59 yards in a little bit more than 4 minutes. Collins on the drive, 4 for 6 for 43 yards, and he also rushed for 11. So the balance was there for Montague on the opening drive of the championship game.
kind of flipped the script there a little bit, Shep. We talked in the open about how Clinton possesses the ball, long 15, 17 play drives. And Montague comes out and really surprised me. They ran it more in that drive. I thought we were going to see Drew Collins slinging around, but obviously if that box is going to be a little bit light or thin, which means there's 6 or less in the box, they're going to check to a run play.
Big leg from Andrew Cooey into the end zone. Clinton will take over. Excited to watch this offense that can be very difficult to defend, and maybe Rubes as much as anything else, because it's difficult to simulate in practice.
Because the timing is so perfect when teams run it well. When you get a team like Clinton that's made it to the state championship, and there's a good look at Derek Tomalak, they hit everything so quick with so much precision. You have a hard time with your backups in practice, especially at Division VI. You don't have that many bodies to begin with of really emulating the speed.
Tomalak, a first-year starter. Coach Jeremy Fielder says he's a great facilitator. Let's see what he does here. On the give, right up the gut. Tripped up at about the 26-yard line is Braden Randolph. Randolph, a 3-year starter. Tough as nails. And up front, the offensive line led by Ryan Phillips, a 2-year starter. Tyler Bowles, a 3-year starter. And Will Feltz on the right side, a 4-year varsity starter.
Second down and 4.
Tomalak on the give. Close to a first down. Randolph for the second straight carry. No, that's Braden Lehman that time.
Number 6, Braden Lehman is the running back.
Lehman almost 200 yards in this semifinal win over Constantine. So 3rd and 1.
Look at the tight splits. They like to get the defense really in tight.
That's a first down carry for George Ames.
Number 10, George Ames.
A little bit different. When you see a lot of Fajos tees, you're going to see a lot of pulling by the guards. Talking to Jeremy Fielder, the head coach, he said, we don't pull that much. We run a lot of ISO and power. When he says ISO and power, that was the ISO. They're going to leave one back ahead. There's a look at Coach Collins from Montague. But they're going to leave one back through, and the second back will get it. On their power, they'll take 2 of the backs out of the 3 and the T, and will lead through. Here's a look at Jeremy Fielder. Former Adrian Bulldog.
27-5 at the helm of Clinton. Right up the belly. Here goes Randolph. Anybody going to catch him? From behind as he balances up inside the 10. Big run by a big player. Aaron Peterson saved a touchdown.
We talk about they don't pull a lot. And as soon as, okay, we're going to pause it here. They're going to pull right in here. We're going to pull right in here and trap. All right, let it go. Actually, it was the other guard that pulled, and he goes right underneath it and just finds a seam. Comes through, and they all come through with their arms swinging. Sometimes, if you don't do your assignment, and whoever was assigned to take the fullback doesn't there, he starts looking in the backfield. Your eyes will lie. He starts going wide, and it's open up the middle. You got to stop the fullback hitter up the middle.
That was worth 58. Now the give, and into the end zone goes George Ames.
Touchdown.
What a response from Clinton.
George Ames with the 8-yard score.
Wow. And that's what I talked about in the open. I said they just kind of jab you, and then all of a sudden they hit the big one. And you have to be patient. And as a play caller in this offense, you have to trust the system. You can't get panicky and try to get ahead of it. You have to just chip away, and that's what they did in that drive.
It's an old cliche, but Jeremy Fielder says we have to be us. They were on that drive. In your face running. Clinton gets the game tied thanks to George Ames' touchdown run.
Well, here's a touchdown to Ames. This is going to be power. They're going to pull this guard. He's going to run up through. They're going to trap with the lead back. He's going to kick out on the DN. Let it run, and you're going to see this. This is just power. You're going to bring a guard through, run through. The first back takes on the end. The fullback that time, Randolph, he gets up through, and that's just a helmet on a helmet. You just got too many bodies for the defenders at the point of attack. You bring that guard, you get an extra person to the party.
Almost looks like a broken play because of the delay in the handoff.
It is, but you have to allow that guard on the backside to get there because your running back's going to be pretty quick. Even though he's on the left side going right, he's going to get out of there a little bit quicker. So he almost has to just pause a little bit to allow the guard to get there to turn up through and allow the kick-out block to occur.
So we're tied at 7. 2 impressive drives for both these offenses. And Clinton will kick it away. Jonathan Bauke to boot it deep. Isaac Jarka and Dylan Everett. This will be Jarka from the 15. And that hold closed quickly at the 31.
Jarka returns the kick from the 15.
Well, we're looking at where these folks are. Montague on the west side of the state. Clinton, not far from Metro Detroit. Montague in Muskegon County, population of less than 3,000. Noah Ferry founded the city and named it after his father, William Montague Ferry, who founded Grand Haven and Ferrysburg. 1st and 10 for Drew Collins. Quick throw, Cooey. And he's wrapped up immediately. Montague also happens to be home to the world's largest working weather vane. That's an instrument used in showing direction of wind.
I just check on the internet, but that's good.
I thought you were going to say, yeah, but what about Miss America in 1961?
Well, that's different now. That's the year after I was born.
I thought you were going to say you dated her.
Yeah, okay.
Every wide receiver has touched the ball so far. How about this slant pass? That's another big play. Collins stood in there, knew he was going to get punched in the mouth. He delivered a slant first down throw to Sam Smith, a pickup of 14.
Well, I believe this is one we call an RPO. We're going to look at it. He's going to fake it, ride the back here. He's going to come through the middle, but he's looking to throw the skinny outside. Let it go. So he rides Everett a little bit. We got caught in the next play. But when he does Shep, he rides Everett. He pulls it with that safety playing high. He throws the skinny on the pass because it's there. That's just intelligence we talked about in the open. We're going to refer to that throughout the game. This young man is a really, really astute student of the game when it comes to football. And that's when you always ask the coaches, what do you like about your quarterback? And, leadership and composure, but intelligence just reigned down on him from his dad. He said it's what we look for. It makes us so much more flexible offensively when we can do so much more that we can call on the field.
And very determined player as well. On a 2nd down and 10, this will be on the ground, and this is Everett getting to midfield. Spreading the wealth really important in the Montague offense, right, Rube? So Tug Nichols, Owen Peterson, Andrew Cooey all have at least 1 reception. Sam Smith as well, all with at least 1 reception. And then they're keeping the ground attack. They're keeping you honest, thanks to Dylan Everett.
And it's so hard to defend. That's why we talk about balance, not being the one-trick pony. Montague's ability to throw the ball. And what I like is they're putting themselves in good situations with their RPOs, reading the box, reading it as he goes. And that's what the quarterback for Montague, Collins, has been doing.
This will be an interesting call if they don't convert this 3rd down and 4. Collins will throw, tosses it out. It's caught, and then that 2nd effort and 3rd effort by Tug Nichols. That was awesome right there.
You can call the best offensive player, call the best defensive player, have people in position, but sometimes players need to make coaches look good and make plays. And that's what Nichols does here. He's able to get rid of a tackler, make the 2nd guy miss, and then the 3rd guy can barely get him down as he stretches the ball out to move the sticks. And that's just a really nice individual effort by Tug Nichols.
Just picked up 5, but it was a special 5, wasn't it? Collins through the air again on a seam route, caught. Smith, touchdown, right on the money.
Touchdown, Montague. Drew Collins with a 44-yard pass to Sam Smith.
Well, we're going to look here, and this is just a breakdown in coverage by Clinton. They just let Nichols, who's going to be lined up in the slot. He's going to be right here. It's just a little crossing route, and then he gets passed inside. The attention gets drawn to the first receiver clearing. We saw it on the rub route. That's not a rub route. It's just a crossing. Anytime you can get guys crossing in high school, it's difficult. At any level, it's difficult, especially in high school. People lose people. Two go with one. No one goes with another.
Cooey's extra point, no good.
PAT is no good.
And what an impact for that young man, Sam Smith. 3 catches, 67 yards, and already 2 touchdowns on a championship Friday.
And look at the poise in the pocket. A little bit of pressure coming. He just steps into it. And sometimes those are the hardest throws when they're wide open. Drew Collins sees Sam Smith running freely down the field. But that's, you know, sometimes those passes are tough. So when they're wide open, you think, oh, I just got to get it there. I just don't steer it too much. Don't throw it too hard. And that was a beautiful toss and well executed. This is going to be a weird game now.
And just enough air under it from Collins, who has been spot on, folks. 9 for 11, 105 yards, and the 2 TD passes to his good friend Sam Smith. It's been a nice special start for a senior captain quarterback.
So, no, Shep, and it's so funny you said about a little bit of air. Being a former quarterback, you understand that when you can put a little bit of air on a ball, it gives you more room for error as a passer. It lets the receiver adjust right, left, maybe if you have that extra gear or slow down. So that was a well-thrown ball, allowing Sam Smith to run under it. And there's coach high fives and all the way around. Everyone's doing great now if his defense can step up. But Clinton has other plans now. That first series, they looked pretty impressive in that run game.
That was a quick response from Montague. 6 plays, a little bit more than 2 minutes. Now they give it back to an explosive rushing attack led by Clinton. And once you're in the end zone in high school, there's no bringing it out. I'd like to take a moment to welcome in our audience watching today on Fox Sports Detroit, Fox Sports Go, and on the CW in Grand Rapids and Kalamazoo, all with us live for the Division 6 state championship game. Proud to have you on board. Hope you enjoy our broadcast today with Rob Rubick, Trevor Thompson, and our entire Fox Sports Detroit family. I'm Matt Shepard. We've crowned a couple of champions already. And we've got 2 more on our plate here for you today. And then 4 more tomorrow. Back to work goes Clinton. And the second man through is Braden Randolph.
Number 10.
Check that. That would be George Ames.
Tackled by number 15.
Well, you got Ames, number 10. You got Campbell, number 11. You got Randolph, 44. And number 6, Braden Lehman. And they're all going to see the football. They really, you talk about the way the wealth was spread on Montague's offense. You're going to see the same with Clinton. Let's look at the touchdowns quickly. Ames has 11. Campbell has 8. Randolph has 10, and Lehman has 14.
Right.
So they're not, you know, they have a lot of ways they can hit you with that run game.
Ames again up close to a first down. We mentioned the champions from earlier today. Centerville pitching the shutout, their first ever state championship in Division 8. Muskegon Mona Shores beat Warren De La Salle. That score reversed. Second straight title for Brady Rose and company.
Good catch there, Shep. That you know, both those teams pre-tournament favorites, and they were able to fulfill the high expectations we had of them. Mona Shore is kind of interesting. They had a lot of close games throughout the tournament. They were just able to finish them all.
Different being the hunted rather than the hunter. Clinton using that physical force. Lehman with a strong first down carry. It's a team that averages 317 yards per game on the ground.
He's tackled by Grassfield.
And sometimes you think, well, you become two-dimensional, too one-dimensional, right? Well, when you're averaging 32.5 points per game, you're 10-1, and the one loss was within a score, you feel like it's working for you.
In the mix-up you do here, it's not to throw the ball. It's, do we run it the fullback trap? Do we run off tackle? Do we run power? And you're going to see him get to the edge sooner or later in this offense as well.
That's Randolph. Not much in the middle of that Montague defense.
So now it's 3rd and 5. We talked in the open, and it's very important. Can you win first down? In the first series, they got 7 yards 2 different times on first down plays. This time, they didn't do as well on first down, and it puts them behind the sticks. Now, 3rd and 5, don't expect them to come out slinging it, but look for some maybe type of counter shit, something we haven't seen out of this run game. I mean, 28 passes, not last week, all year they threw.
Right. Tomalak will give. Trying to bounce to the outside. Ames cut it back up. Dragged down shy of the first down. A tackle made there by Peterson.
I'm just thinking out loud, Shep. You know how I am. I can't multitask. Once my brain starts thinking, my mouth starts moving sometimes. And talking to Jeremy Fielder, he said, 4th and 1, you know, we get about a 45, 50, we like to go for it. We think this offense is built to get 1 yard every time. He's 38-yard line. Is he going to go hard count, Shep? He's going to try to draw the defense off, or is he going to follow through here? This could be interesting.
He needs 2. They will go for it, and they'll get it, and then some. Randolph into Montague territory.
Braden Randolph gets to the 49.
Well, this is just a really nice job up front blocking, but also by Randolph, who bounces it to the edge. We thought they might try to go wide. It really was an off-tackle play that was designed to go there, but Randolph just took it on his own volition to go outside, and he found some empty space, and that's a quick first quarter.
Sure was. They got 13 on that carry. Clinton within 6 of the leader. Montague with a couple of touchdown passes to Sam Smith. They're up 13-7 as we get ready to start the second quarter after this.
(13-7) Montague over Clinton as we welcome you back to second quarter action here at Ford Field. And you're looking at Montague head coach Pat Collins. He was a quarterback back in his day, made it to the state finals back in 1992, but lost to DePorce. Now his son Drew has a chance to avenge that loss and get a state championship of his own. However, that isn't the only father-son combination on the Montague sidelines. Craig Smith is a special teams coach. His son Sam's already caught 2 touchdowns today. Matt McDonald is the line coach. His son Hayden's in the game, and Randy Mickelson's son Trey also vying for a state championship here. These dads and their sons spending some special time together this year and hoping it all culminates in a championship here at Ford Field, Matt.
Good story, Trev, and it always means more when your kid wins it and you don't, right? Oh, big hit there. Right at midfield. That was by Hayden McDonald. They call him the hay baler, and there's a reason right there. Look at this. He just brings the wood and knocks the running back backwards.
Look at the size, Shep. You're going to see takes on the blocker, sheds a blocker, takes on the second blocker, comes off. You talk about being a full-grown man, number 77. He just got rid of 2 people like they were last week's laundry. And then made the tackle. Wow. Look at him. He's large and in charge there now.
Yeah, he is a dominant force up front. A loss of 1, 2nd and 11. Randolph, the first man through, gets a lot of that back and then some.
Wrapped up by Smith.
Like the way Randolph plays the game, man, on offense and defense. One of those football players who also wrestles, or maybe he's a wrestler who plays football. Either way, it works because he is one tough hombre. And speaking of that, I mean, Trevor was just talking about the fathers and the coaches on the Montague side. Braden Randolph's father, Casey, is an assistant coach there at Clinton. He's also the assistant head coach of wrestling at Clinton. Lehman to the 40, close to a first down. Speaking of Clinton, they're the 2020 Division IV Wrestling State Championship, the first title in history. Those are the kinds of guys right there. You see? They don't mind spitting blood. They love the contact.
Yeah. And there's one of the Phelps brothers. Now, you got William and Brandon, both, you know, well over 280 pounds. Both wrestled on the championship team along with Nick Shadley and George Ames. But I love those defensive linemen that wrestle because they're so good with their hands, the man strength through the forearms. They keep people off their legs. It's a natural thing you do in wrestling. Plus, they're nasty.
Yeah, 4th and 1. Randolph plunges forward for the first down, right on cue. The wrestler gets the first down. The one thing you don't do, you don't mess with wrestlers, right, Rubes?
Oh, absolutely.
They love a good physical altercation, don't they? There's a good look at what Clinton is all about. Just an enrollment of under 400, not far from here, about an hour or so.
Staying out of your way.
Man, they got good. When you have good wrestling, it just bleeds, I believe, into your football program. It just seeps because they feed off each other. it just creates a toughness in football that sometimes you don't get.
On the jet sweep, this is George Ames. Driven backwards.
Now, we talk about winning first down. So far, on first down plays in this game, Clinton went 6 yards, 58 yards, 8, 4, and 4. Those are winning plays. That's how you get drives. That's how you get points. The last 2 first downs, 0 and 0. Now, they're able to come on this series when they move the chains and a couple second, third down or better. But, man, you do not want to be getting 0 yards on first down when you're a straight T type of team. You want to get 3 to 4. Consider that a winning down.
It's a little more methodical on this drive. This is their 12th play of the drive. Lehman slicing his way inside the 35, down to about the 33. Trevor Thompson.
Matt, you were talking about Braden Rudolph. He was also a wrestler, a 2-time runner-up and a 3rd-place finisher, but this year was named the Defensive Player of the Year in his conference. His dad won that same award when he started Hudsonville back in the day. So certainly wrestling runs in that family as well as football.
That's cool. Yeah, and again, I mean, watching your son do something as well, if not better than you, what a feeling it must be for those fathers.
Papa Randolph's got to be pretty happy.
Clinton 1 for 3 on 3rd down so far today. And Randolph still on his feet all the way to the 25-yard line. You're not going to bring him down with one dude. You got a gang tackle.
To the 26.
He's just a thumper. This is going to be the inside fullback trap, which you've seen. It's going to end up right here. We're going to see these guys go outside, but let it go. It's just a quick hitter inside. You don't even know he has it. He covers it up so well. You know, 15, 20 years ago, Marine City used to run this type of offense. All the running backs wore dark forearm pads, and they'd come through swinging their arms. And then the state of Michigan finally outlawed it. You could not have the same color forearm pads as the football because you never knew who had the ball.
On the 1st and 10, spinning his way, Nick Shadley, and all the way inside the 15-yard line. His first carry, very profitable for Clinton.
They're hitting him inside between the guards. This is just right up the middle. A little crossing action. You saw Randolph go to the left. Then they just bring the left back over the backside of Randolph right up to the middle, and you lose sight. Look at the athleticism. Look how low he got. He was able to come out of that. It was a deep squat. It looked like you in the gym on a Thursday on leg day.
Yeah, and then the ambulance is called. Shadley, 5'6", $140, the freshman, with his first carry. On a 1st and 10. Clinton knocking on the door again. Randolph stood up. Lost his lid, too. Walker Martin had him. Here goes the takedown. And Randolph's not backing down from anybody.
Randolph is wrapped up by Smith.
Well, this is the play they've had success. Pause it. You're going to see it's just a quick trap, and Randolph's going to come right behind the trap block. Tyler Bowles is going to hit it. But, man, he gets met in the hole, and Walker Martin, you know, you look at Randolph, he's a load. That's a big back, and Walker Martin was able to stand him up, hold his own, take his helmet off.
Well, think about this. Walker Martin's got 100 pounds. 100 pounds on Braden Randolph, and Randolph still didn't go down. 2nd down and 10. Nice cutback by Shadley. Thumps his way to the 6.
Nick Shadley cut down by Martin.
Get a little thunder and lightning when you look at Shadley, and then you look at Braden Randolph. Braden's more of the inside, bigger fullback. They've had success with the play now. They run that little fullback, quick hitter up the middle, and the complementary play to that is you fake it, then you hit the back crossing behind him. And they've run that 2 or 3 times in this series, this drive, and have had success with it with Shadley.
Ball the 6-yard line, 3rd and 3.
17th play of the drive for Clinton. Their last scoring drive was just 5 plays. Lehman cut it back, got to the 5 before shoved backwards. That'll bring up a 4th down play coming.
To the 5-yard
Christopher Kessler on the tackle.
Nichols and Martin.
This is when I'm glad, Shepard, we're not hourly be doing this job, because with the way that Clinton just chews the clock so quickly and the way that Montague is possessing the ball and going down the field, we talk about when you play a team like this, you limit the number of possessions you get in a game, which is the biggest fear talking to Pat Collins, head coach of Montague. He said, Rubes, we're just not sure. We're going to lose 3 or 4 possessions we won't get today because of the way they possess the ball.
Clinton's going to get a chance to talk about it after the Montague timeout. Clinton 2 for 2 on 4th downs. They need another one to keep the drive alive. Stay with us.
Well, if you want diversity in an offense and all you do is run the football, what you do is you mix it up a little bit. You run the fullback inside, as you see here with Braden Randolph breaking free for a big gain. And then once again, you pound him inside for another nice gain. But then for a little bit change of pace, you bring Shadley. Now you look at Nick Shadley, a little bit smaller, a little bit quicker, and then you give it to Ames on the touchdown. So you're mixing it up. You go a little bit inside, you go a little bit outside, you bounce some stuff. You can't be predictable, but you just have to do what you do.
Well, think about this. This drive started with about 3 minutes and change left in the first quarter for Clinton. That's why Montague,
Did it really?
Yeah, that's why Montague head coach Pat Collins told you, look, we feel like we lose some possession. They almost feel like you got to score every time you get it because you're not going to have it very often.
Yeah, we'll talk in a bit, Shep, but we watched this quite a few years. We have at Dune Eastern Michigan. We play the military academy. 4th
and 2. Lehman on the toss sweep. He's got the first down. Dragged the tackler inside the 5. Trey Michelson went for a ride, but not before Braden Lehman picked up another first down.
Sorry, Matt. This is almost like when you watch teams will throw on 4th down. This is a pass for them. You run in a toss, let it go. You leave both backs ahead of them. Nice kick-out block, and then the quarterback. That's kind of neat. I didn't know they did that. That's Derek Tomalak. The quarterback is also in the mix. So you have a pulling guard, 3 people out of the backfield, 2 running backs, and the quarterback leading that play. And that's those student body right or student body left.
They've used up about 11 minutes on this drive. Lehman on the carry. Lowers the boom, and into the end zone he plunges.
Touchdown, Clinton. Braden Lehman with the 2-yard.
Well, Lehman may have the most yards rushing so far, but Tyler Bowles has probably run just as far, and he's the right guard because you're going to see big number 72. He gets out in front again, and he pulls. And he's been doing that almost every play in this drive when they run that fullback. But, you know, Shep, we were talking off the air a little bit, though. He pulls. He goes all the way to, like, the defensive end, but the play cuts up just over the guard.
Balky connects on the extra point. Clinton has its first lead of the day. They've been doing it with a ground and pound approach. The latest, Braden Lehman. Team leading 15th rushing tackle of the touchdown of the year, and they're up by 1. Busy day for us on our Fox Sports Detroit, and tonight watch the Pistons take on the Houston Rockets on Fox Sports Detroit Plus. Coverage begins with Pistons Live 6:30. That's tonight. Pistons and Rockets from Little Caesars Arena at 6:30 on Fox Sports Detroit Plus. What a drive by Clinton.
How are the punters doing so far?
Oh, my goodness. I mean...
Hey, let's talk to Mike Brad, our statistician. How's the punts?
I don't think he's had to put their name in his book yet. 80 yards, and it took 19 plays and 10 minutes and 56 seconds. And Clinton has a 1-point advantage. Wow.
Frustrating team to play against. It's just so hard to get, you know, you have good play. You get a couple 0-yard gains at first down, but it's tough to get them off the field.
And Montague's next drive will start right around the 40-yard line. How did Montague get here? They just beat up Grayling in the semis, 49-14. Their playoff run, look at that, started out with a blowout of Hart, and then at least 36 points in every game after that.
They
to stay undefeated.
They're not going to put those type of numbers up today because the game's going to go too fast because of the possession offense that Clinton uses.
Collins has been dynamite early on. He wants a home run ball. He's got his man. It's Sam Smith again. And he can't pull away from the secondary, but it's good enough to get in the red zone.
Tackled by Ames.
Quick way to get the momentum back, Rubes.
Yeah, once again, you see him cross right in the beginning. It's a crossing route, although it takes place right at the line of scrimmage. But when if teams are playing man, and they don't know how to switch, or they're trying not to switch, you can run someone open. And that time they're able to get Dylan Everett wide open down the field, number 22.
That's a 49-yard pitch and catch. Now Collins right up the gut past the 25 and close to another first down.
If you're Montague in this situation, I really take my time, because you don't want to give too much time. And Clinton needs time, as we see. They're not going to go down the field in 3 minutes, the way their offense is built. So anytime you can take off here in this drive will only make your chance of them not scoring even better. Now, Clinton will receive the ball to start the second half, correct? Because this is the third possession for Montague.
Right. First two ended in throwing touchdowns by Collins. The give, up the gut, touchdown, Dylan Everett.
Touchdown, Montague.
That was a quick response, wasn't it?
Dylan Everett.
Yep, this is just a little give play. He's just going to be right here, inside. He reads it a little bit. He can pull in that situation, but he sees it. The guard not crashing down too hard. He gives it inside. Everett scores. That's nice for Dylan Everett. He had the big catch coming down the field, and that set up this scoring drive. So
faking the extra point. An option here. They're going to throw it, and over the head of Sam Smith, the intended receiver. Tug Nichols had the option. He could have run it in if he saw an opening, or he could have thrown it to his fellow wide receiver.
Well, he did a nice job because the coverage was good. What Tug Nichols does a really nice job of is drawing the defender. It's like being a point guard. He just attacks until the defense comes to him, then he's going to just lower it over the top. You can see the snap. You can see it come right here in motion behind. He's going to get the pitch. And now watch, as he goes out, as the defender comes up, they just go over the top. He just overthrew. So he did everything correctly except making the pass catchable.
Impressive quick drive for Montague. Needed just a minute to respond. They used 3 plays, traveling 60 yards, and they're back in front by 5.
So I'm really interested to see what Jeremy Fielder, the head coach of Clinton, does in this situation with 3 minutes. He can't run his offense unless
he's got 3 timeouts, though.
Unless he can pop one. Yeah. He took almost 11 minutes in the last drive to get down the field. So you think in 3 minutes, that's not enough time. His only hope is that he can pop a chunk play somewhere to set it up to give him an opportunity to score.
Braden Randolph did that earlier in the game. Busted loose up the middle for about 44 or so. Andrew Cooey will kick it off yet again for Montague. Montague's offense has yet to be stopped, but they can't stop Clinton's offense.
I think it's going to stop Clinton's offense here in the first half. It's probably going to be the clock.
Here we go. You got to play. You got to play. Please.
This is Aarons. Ridge Aarons looking for a block. He got one. Needs another one. Instead, run over at the 25-yard line. Chase Gowell on the tackle. Well, we'll congratulate John Johnson, longtime broadcast director on 33 years with the MHSAA. We miss him when we come to these events, especially because what a great job he and his staff always do. We'll hear from both head coaches, Trevor Thompson, and my buddy Rob Rubick will break down the first half of play. Saw Mark Ewell down on the field earlier today. What a job Mark Ewell and his staff have done to complete this 2020 high school football season. Hats off to Mark.
Cherry on top is his son that's going to be playing tomorrow for DeWitt.
Layman on the ground.
Layman's dragged down.
Trey Michelson on the tackle.
12,
you see no hurry up really. 250 and counting. I got to believe you want to run some plays, as many as you can, just to see if one will pop. The way your offense is set up at 5, 4, 6, 7 yards, you're not going to be able to get down the field in time. But if you could pop one of those, then you want to be able to go into a more hurry-up mode.
That's Randolph hurdling his way for a couple.
Randolph gets to the 32-yard line.
How much of it is playing a factor for Jeremy Fielder that he's going to get the football to start the second half? He doesn't want to give the football back to Montague, right?
And I'm just thinking here, Shep, you're a little conservative if you're Jeremy Fielder. Montague shows that they can get down the field quick. The way they can throw the football with Drew Collins. There's 2 minutes and 5 seconds and rolling here. This is a big 3rd and 3.
They're not going to get it.
And he's going to
Montague stuffed it out.
I believe Montague's going to take a timeout because now you can force the punt, and Jeremy Fielder does not like to punt the football. We know that. We've seen him go for 2 or 3 fourth down situations already, but man, 4th and 3 on your own 32-yard line, you have to punt the football.
So it's a timeout Montague after Davey Campbell couldn't quite get the first down, stuffed by Hayden McDonald. Here's the road to the finals for Clinton after beating Constantine earlier in the semifinals with ease. Had a couple of close games. First 2 started out well, and as Trevor Thompson pointed out earlier, it was that Blissfield, the 16-13 win over Blissfield, that gave Jonathan Balky and company that wonderful weekend ride into the night sky that allowed him to keep playing.
Yeah, and I had that Michigan Collegiate one highlighted because, you know, talking to Coach Fielder, he said that was an unbelievably talented football team. He said we were lucky to come out of there with a win against Michigan Collegiate. He thought that was really the best team he's faced this season. So he thought it really set them up well to get to where they are now.
Yeah, he also said, look, I mean, we've beaten 4 top 10 teams in the playoffs, 2 of the 4 on the road. And that's why their motto is Invictus. Unconquerable is what it means.
As play resumes, it's 4th down.
4th down, and Clinton's going to punt it away.
You know, you spoke Latin.
Try once in a while. Actually, I'd have no idea. If my son didn't have that tattooed on his chest, I wouldn't know. Sam Smith awaits this punt. It's a good one. And it will take a Clinton bounce inside the 30. All right, what do you do here if you're Montague? $1:46, you're up by 5, you got a timeout. A lot depends on the first play, doesn't it?
Nope, I don't think so, Matt. I don't want to say nope to you, but that you're on the 30-yard line. You have excellent field position. You don't have the threat of if you go 3 passes incomplete and you have to punt that they're going to come down the field because they don't do that. We just saw what they do. So if you're Montague, I come out, I go my 2-minute drill. I let my quarterback call plays at the line, change as he goes, whatever he sees. Maybe an RPO thrown in there. But if you're Clinton, vice versa, you got to play back. You got to keep bodies in front of you. You have to play smart in the secondary.
Montague yet to be stopped on offense. Collins rolls the pocket, throws on the run, got his man, and breaking a tackle, Tug Nichols, and he wisely gets out of bounds. After getting the first down, he tiptoed out of bounds at the 43, a pickup of 13.
Just run a little rollout, a short rollout. They run Nichols on a flat pass. He just leaks into the flat, well-thrown ball. And Nichols does a good job feeling the pressure coming. He just stops. He lets the defenders go by him, and then he works his way back out, gets to the sideline, gets out of bounds.
Collins will throw again. Comfy pocket. Lofts it downfield. Incomplete. Intended for Owen Peterson. Good coverage by Nick Shadley.
As a quarterback in a somewhat advanced passing system, it's all about your pre-reads. In that time, he knew he thought he had maybe man outside, but it looked like it was just like quarters press. So in other words, the defensive backs outside, Shep, on the wideouts, they're going to run with you because they have deep quarter. So they have the deep quarter behind you. So even though it looks like to be man early, they're just running to get back to their quarters. So it was well covered by Clinton.
Collins steps up, pressure coming, and he's wrapped up at the 42-yard line. Jack Vall made the tackle.
Now this is, they tried to hit him with a wheel. When we talk about a wheel, they're going to leak the running back 21. He's split to the left. You can't see him in this picture. Maybe we get another look. Yeah, it's too tight to show people watching the game, but basically what you do is you leak the slot. You take the wide out, he comes across, the guy in the slot is going to go out to the side and then down the side. That's what a wheel is. So we're going to look here, we're going to see right here, he's going to come right here and then work down the sidelines. But you can't see in your picture here, there's a corner that's hanging deep. So Drew Collins does the right thing and just tucks it.
Live for another play.
Yep, absolutely.
Sometimes the best pass plays are the ones that aren't thrown at all.
You know, a wise man once told me, I believe it was Matt Shepard, said, there's nothing wrong with ending every possession you have in a game offensively with a kick. Whether it's a punt, an extra point,
a field goal.
Right. They're all fine. They don't beat you. It's those turnovers that kill you.
1:21 left. Montague out of timeouts now on a 3rd down and 11. Collins has been sharp. Needs to be sharp again here to keep the drive alive. Coming up after this one, we welcome you back to Ford Field for the Division IV title game. It's at 7:30. It's Cadillac making its first ever state finals appearance, facing off with Country Day. You can catch the Division IV title game coming up next, live on Fox Sports Go. Drew Collins on a quick funnel screen and a flag on the play. Sam Smith on the receiving end.
Collins with the pass to Smith.
Zach Shadley, the older brother of Nick, with a tackle.
I think you're going to hold outside. I think Alex Wojcicki is going to get the holding call. He was out there on that little quick screen.
Blocking the back on the offense, number 50. Penalty declined. 4th down.
Well, Alex didn't get a hold, but he got a block in the back, and I'm sure the 250 people here, the official, gave them the numbers. So I'm not, maybe it's different at the state finals.
Is this a quick punt right here?
Yeah, that's a great call, Shep. He's going to maybe back up here, or a hard count.
Hard count, there you go.
I would just back him up now, take the shotgun, and then do the quick kick.
There you go.
Very good shot.
And a good one. Skips inside the 20 and down at the 14-yard line with just 54 seconds remaining.
Well, it took the last 2 minutes of the first half to see our first 2 punts.
Yeah.
Of the game.
Each team's defense with 1 stop so far. It's been a good first half of football. You can see why both these teams are playing for a trophy.
And now Clinton controls their own destiny with the clock. With 3 timeouts remaining, Montague has no timeouts. If they want to just run this out, run it inside, and let the clock tick down.
Let me ask you this. We know that Derek Tomalak's only thrown the ball 28 times. Would you take a shot here? Would you throw the football here just to see what happens?
No, I wouldn't here, Shep, because you're too deep. With the interception, they would work with the short field. What I would do is they keep running all 3 of these backs one way the whole game.
Look out, breaking the tackle. First down and more to the 30-yard line. That'll stop the clock. Good run by Nick Shadley. He's been effective out of that backfield, picking up 16.
I started to say is I would run all 3 backs. One time I'd have Tomalak pull it and do a naked boot the other way.
Haven't seen that yet, right?
To me, that seems like that would make sense. Maybe they saved that. Maybe Coach Fielder's keeping that in his back pocket for later.
Last man through. Shadley again.
Nick Shadley to the 34.
I think Clinton's going to burn a timeout. There it is.
And Smith.
Now, Shep, you've gained 20 yards of field position. I might think about heaving one deep in this situation, trying to get a chunk play, because if you do turn over, they get the interception, maybe you can keep them on their plus side of the minus side of the 50 for them.
Clinton out of the Lenawee County Athletic Association, where they finished 2nd. They have been in this situation before. They are 0-2. This is 2015 when they lost 27-20 to Ithaca. They also lost to the Yellow Jackets in 2013 in the state finals game. Remember, those Ithaca teams, they were on some type of roll, right? In the middle of that era, they were winning championships left and right. Not many teams could match up with Ithaca, but Clinton gave it everything they could and then some.
Yeah, Terry Hesbrook, head coach Ithaca, had quite a run back then. I don't know, 4 or 5, as you said, championships in a row, Shep. Clinton, that's just a tough draw. I mean, you have really good football teams. You get to the finals twice, and you draw Ithaca, who was really part of a dynasty at that era. And that's a tough draw. Now, today they got Montague, and they're matching up pretty well. But they matched up well. I mean, look at Ithaca game. That was 27-20. That was a very competitive game. Talking to Jeremy Fielder, he said, no, they had every opportunity to win that game. He said Ithaca just made a few more plays down the stretch.
And Trev, you get some familiarity with that 2015 Ithaca championship game.
Young Derek Tomalak was the ball boy for that team. His brother played on that team. He led them out of the tunnel. Now he led his own team out of the tunnel for this one, Matt.
Very cool. Braden Lehman to the outside. It's enough for a first down. Stops the clock with 34 seconds left.
First down, Clinton.
You want to talk about student body left. Watch it. They're going to pull. They're going to pull. You got to pause it for me here. They're trying to draw. They pull both guards. They lead both backs in front of it, and the quarterback. You see Tomalak as well.
And Lehman felt he was one broken tackle away from a big gainer. The big gainer they needed to possibly threaten for another touchdown. 19-14. Montague leads it. A couple of touchdown passes and a touchdown run for Montague. And 2 touchdown runs for Clinton so far.
Clinton's running the ball pretty well, Shep. This is in their character. 30 rushes so far, 193 yards. That's 6.4 average, and
that's really good.
That's winning football.
Sure is.
For Clinton.
No doubt. Have to stress that Clinton is not a team that, if they get behind, they can throw the football, nor do they necessarily want to. Matter of fact, Jeremy Fielder said, when I asked him that, he said, look, we don't trail very often, quite honestly. And the one game we lost, it was a one-score game. So, you know, we were still able to be who we are. We still carried the identity.
Yeah, and they're so good offensively with this offense they run. That's not going to happen because they're going to possess the ball. They're going to put points. The only way you can see getting down 2 or 3 scores if turnovers. If you gave up the ball a couple times with some fumbles and got behind serve.
Hopping his way through the hole is Braden Randolph.
Randolph gains 3 to the 43.
And it looks like Clinton is willing to let just the clock wind down, huh? Maybe one more play. Lehman to the outside. Lunges for the first down yard marker. He's got it with 6 seconds to go and out of bounds. Isaac Jarka on the tackle.
Now, if I'm Jeremy Fielder, this is why on Monday's practice you have the who can throw the ball farthest contest on your team. You bring all the kids out, say whoever throws the ball the farthest does not have to run. And that way, if you have anyone that can throw 50 or 55 yards, you put him at quarterback, I don't care what number he's wearing, and say try to throw it to the blue area. It says Lions on it. If you can throw it down there, you can do the Hail Mary. But at this level, it's probably rare you have someone that can throw it 55 yards.
Whoever won the punt, pass, and kick.
Yeah, right. It's usually the really big kids. It's probably going to be a tackle or a guard.
Yeah, the Andy Reeds when they were really little, right?
We was never little.
Well, that's true. This is Tomalak on the roll. He'll keep it, and that'll do it for the first half of play. Something to show Montague, maybe something to think about for the second half. Clinton trails by 5, but they'll get the football to start the second half of play. Both these teams had a certain DNA that we thought was part of their makeup, and guess what? That's who they lived up to.
Spot on.
Yep. Clinton, very good running the football. They proved that here in the first half today. Montague, very good balance on offense. They proved that here so far in the first half. Drew Collins at the helm. That quarterback for Montague has been very sharp. His father is the head coach, Patrick Collins, and his father's ready to talk about the first half of play with our Trevor Thompson. Trevor?
Coach, that Collins-Smith combo was lethal in the first half. Why were they able to get off?
Well, there's just some holes out there. The coaches are doing a great job seeing some things. Drew's doing a good job seeing some of his receivers get open. So it's just about us executing what we've been working on.
You're up by 5. What else do you like about your team's play through the first half?
Well, I think both offenses are successful, and so that's in order to match that power offense. I'm real happy with our offense, but we're going to be working on some defense here at halftime.
Yeah, this is a game of adjustments. What kind of adjustments do you assume that your team will have to make in the second?
Yeah, I think we're not punching real well on D because we're a little tight to the ball. Some minor adjustments as far as getting guys in position so they can flow better to where the ball's going, so we have more hats at the party.
Great half, Coach, and thanks for this. Good luck.
Thank you.
Matt?
All right, Trevor, thanks very much. Very entertaining first half of play, right? Clinton rushed for 211 yards. Montague's quarterback, Drew Collins, threw for 170 and a couple of touchdowns. We got a really dynamic Division VI title bout going on here on Fox Sports Detroit. Montague leads it by 5. Stay with us.
The MHSAA Football State Championships on Fox Sports Detroit are brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Visit viatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. By Meyer. Meyer knows when we support the home team, we all win. And by the Sparrow Health System. Wear a mask. Save a life. Sparrow Health System. Welcome back to Ford Field for the Division 6 state finals. Montague with a 19-14 lead over Clinton here at the half. And you know the MHSAA state finals are a great opportunity to showcase some fabulous student athletes from all across the state of Michigan. But there are many people who put in a ton of work behind the scenes to make sure this all goes off flawlessly. John Johnson was one of those people for many years, and he recently retired. But our John Keating shares a message with JJ now.
Events like these, a glorious gathering of people, don't just happen. And the dreams don't belong to just the kids who play on these stages. But you take some of the chance out of the dream with weeks of preparation, or in the case of John Johnson, years of it. He's had a fancy title of Communications Director with the Michigan High School Athletic Association, which has grown to include broadcast properties. But that's just because worrywart didn't look so great on a business card. Oh, and he worried. It became an art form, but because he worried, things always seemed to run smoothly. John Johnson, JJ to all, has retired after 34 years helping Michigan's kids to be all they could. After a stint working with Bobby Knight at Indiana University, he was one of the first hires of MHSAA Executive Director Jack Roberts, and they figured out a lot of things together.
He excelled in telling stories. During the late 80s and early 90s, sportsmanship was our #1 concern. Sportsmanship was degrading in all levels of sports all across the country, and we wanted to change that, at least for Michigan and the high school level. And for a decade, late 80s, early 90s, John led the nation in telling the story about what to expect and demand in educational athletics.
When Jack Roberts hired John 3+ decades ago, he was the first person in the country to have the title of a state association communications director. So I think whenever you talk about John, that's where you have to start, that he was the first. And the role as it's evolved and it's grown, and it's, John has shaped that. 49 other states have followed.
If you watch these events, it became a parallel sport, a Waldo-esque search, because as the trophies of wooden mittens were conveyed, JJ was there, or over there. Some people leave a mark, and as JJ enters retirement, his will last for a long while.
Everywhere he went, they liked him. They loved him. At Indiana, too. Except I don't know if Bobby Knight loved him, but he definitely tolerated him, which is about the best you're going to get from Bobby Knight.
Well, because you get crazy coaches and parents, and then you got media people, bugging you. He always, he took a deep breath. He helped you what you needed to get help with, and he didn't really make you feel like you were infringing on his time.
What I appreciate most about working with John Johnson, and I've done so for the last 20 years or so, is his appreciation and love for all sports in the state of Michigan. Not just the ones that garnered the most headlines or drew the most airtime like football and basketball. All sports for boys and girls.
I always remember, is everything all right? Do you have everything you need? Because I would like to go home. It's a long weekend. And he would double check and he would say, thanks, John. And the thanks wasn't big enough. It was, I could give him a hug for all the help that he would give us.
There's all these great stories. You just got to look for them, and they're there. And normally it's with the guys who do the day-to-day grind. And John has, relationships with all the people in broadcast and all the people in media throughout the state. So he uncovers all those neat little nuggets that you find out throughout the year.
His legacy is that he wanted everybody to feel like they were just as important as the next.
Those who give back to others are not alone in that gift, because there's a sacrifice made at home. Time is our most precious gift. And all the hours that JJ has worked around all the schools and all the sports and all the games has taken him away from the Johnson family, which has reached the grandchildren phase now. And wife Susie has had her share of health issues along the way.
I knew I was sick. when I got sick. I knew things were not good. I don't know quite how to explain. We just added it in.
He is loyal to a fault, and he loves my mom like no other. You know, in that way, he is my greatest role model. And just seeing him kind of step up into that role and really not miss a beat, you know, it's been hard, but he has done just such a fantastic job just making sure she remains comfortable, making sure, you know, he's by her side, and he's there for her whenever she needs him.
My son now last Christmas asked for a selection of ties so he could be like Pa.
Oh.
And a couple of years ago, we were able to be at the court at Breslin, and my dad was out there playing with him on the court. And it's just a side people don't get to see a lot, but he just is playful and encouraging, and he's always talking to them about their dreams, and I just think it's beautiful.
We love you, Grandpa. I love you, Grandpa. I love you, Grandpa.
It is different for the Johnsons now, and for the state's athletic family as well. You get used to seeing someone or hearing that voice because it was ever present. And sure, it might be a little highly strung from time to time, but that's what made JJ JJ. And that's why he's been the best of the best for a few generations of coaches and kids. The people in the back are why it works so well up front. And that's never been truer than the career of John Johnson. His feet can go up now as his heart rate comes down. But he'll truly be missed, which is the sign of a great storied career. All of us at Fox Sports Detroit wish you the best in the next chapter of your life. Enjoy retirement, and we say thanks to JJ.
Keats, that was a fabulous job, and John Johnson was certainly a tireless worker. And as Keats said, JJ, on behalf of all of us at Fox Sports Detroit, congratulations on your retirement. We wish you all the best in the years ahead. And for all of you watching here at Ford Field, Montague has already scored twice on this combination. Collins to Smith. But there's a whole half to go at Ford Field. We welcome you back right after this with a whole lot more. The MHSAA Football State Championships on Fox Sports Detroit are brought to you by Goodman Acker, Detroit's trusted law firm. By Chocolate Milk, the official beverage of the MHSAA. By Addicts, visit addictsportswear.com to start your custom order today. And by the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. Mask up, Michigan, spread hope, not COVID. We're back to Ford Field with more football action in Division 6 right after this. Hey folks, coming up next at 7:30 p.m. is the Division 4 title game. Cadillac making their first ever state finals appearance. They'll face off against Detroit Country Day, and you can catch all the Division 4 title game action coming up next on Fox Sports Go. We're coming back with the second half of Clinton and Montague right after this from Ford Field.
The MHSAA Football State Championships on Fox Sports Detroit are brought to you by the Henry Ford Health System, all for you. And by Farm Bureau Insurance, the presenting sponsor of the MHSAA Scholar Athlete Award. Good one in Division 6. Montague leads Clinton 19-14. Clinton will have the football to start the second half, and their head coach joins Trevor Thompson after this. Jeremy Fielder and Clinton trailing by 5, but getting the football to start this second half. He had mentioned to us they got to make those key plays in the key moments. They made a few of them there in that first half, Rob Rubick.
Oh, they did. And you know, we talk about statistics can be deceiving. You look, oh, that's the wrong one. I want to go to the second one down. We look at the 15-40 time of possession compared to 8-20, yet you're losing. And we've talked at length, Shep, you and I do in Eastern Michigan. It's not how long you have it, it's what you do with it when you have it. Now, that being said, Clinton has been successful, a couple of touchdown drives, but Montague's been able to put 3 drives together in a shorter amount of time.
Fielder says they got to get that key stop on first down. That's what he told our Trevor Thompson at halftime. Here comes Clinton off the kickoff. This is Ridge Aarons. Aarons with a decent return past the 30. And that's where Clinton's offense will set up shop. You saw the numbers moments ago. 211 yards on the ground for Clinton in the opening half. Again, not a team that chooses to throw the football very much, so they're not going to have a lot through the air. They rely on their ground attack.
Right, you rely on William Feltz and Tyler Bowles and Ryan Phillips, Cade Mozina, Brandon Feltz, Tommy Burton, Brendan Keith. These are the big fellas up front that they do 99% of the time they're run blocking.
First carry of this second half goes to Nick Shadley. Shadley, a couple of big runs in the first half for the Clinton offense.
That's the old time they called the cross buck action, where the fullback in the T would go to the left and the second back over on the left side would cut back across and he gets the handoff.
Picked up just one.
At the 34.
Yes.
This is Braden Lehman. And Rodney Brassfield sniffed it out. Brassfield, the number 6 in blue, considered Montague's best tackler.
He needed to be on that play because they had a lot of white shirts coming at him. But this is interesting now. Now you're 3rd and 8. They didn't win first down. They didn't win second down. It puts you out of character if you're Clinton. What play do you run? Do they try to run that toss play with the whole student body where you lead with the quarterback and you get both guards, you get both backs? That seems to be their go-to play in long down situations.
See if they give it to Braden Randolph here. They do. Randolph on the right side, breaking through and kind of back-flipping his way close to the first down yard marker.
And that's the crossing action. We saw them do. Okay, we're gonna get motion going this way. We get Randolph right here. He's gonna come back across. Let it go. You see both backs going left, so that's the double cross buck action. And he comes through. You see him. They pull Caden Mozina, the left guard. He comes through. Nice kick out block. It's funny we talk about the diversity in offense. Well, when we usually run the ball all the time, you got to create diversity in your run game, and that's kind of a switch-up play.
On the toss sweep, this is Braden Lehman. Good job getting just a yard after he was hit early by Trey Michelson.
Physical, Shep. Yeah. Physical football. Flying up. Michelson and Wojcicki rather, and then you got Walker and Martin inside the Grand Valley commit, really creating havoc. Once again, Montague wins first down. 1-yard gain. Clinton's been able to overcome it, so they've overcome it in this series with that big 3rd down play, but you don't want to get behind the sticks too often if you're Clinton on first down.
Shadley up the middle. Tough tread. Colton Blankstrom in on the tackle.
Shadley was the ball carrier. Tackled by McDonald.
There's Blankstrom right there, the junior. Linebackers very good gap to gap for this Montague defense.
3rd down and 8.
3rd and long for Clinton.
We give you a bird's eye view here. These linebackers are looking at. They're watching those guards. Let's see how they're going to read this. There goes the guard. It's going left, Shep, and they cross you up. That's called a fake key or fake pull. We're going to look at that. I really want to show this because I asked Coach, I said, do you false pull very often? He goes, rarely, but we do. And that time we saw it. You're going to watch this. The guard's pulling that way. Look where the ball's going, though. The ball comes back. It's a false pull. It's to throw off the keys of the linebackers.
So the ball's going where they're vacating.
Right. Usually you up. Now, 90% of the time you're going to follow the guard. That's where the ball goes. That's what linebackers read. That's their key, so they're going to flow with it. That time they gave him a little false pull.
Yeah, head down means they're running. Head up means they're passing the football. 4th and short. They're perfect on 4th downs. Not anymore. Braden Randolph wrapped up from behind by Trey Michelson. Clinton turns it over on downs.
Well, I think Montague, the Wildcats, they've seen that movie before. And do a nice job of really conversion on the football, converging, getting 3-4 bodies and getting the stop.
Montague's defense needed to make an early statement in the 3rd. They did just that. Now they give it back to their high, potent offense after this. Montague's first possession of the third quarter. They lead it by 5, and they start it on the ground. This is Sam Smith breaking free to the 30-yard line. George Ames tracked him down, but not before a big pickup of 23.
And this is your classic power play. We're going to get a look here. Pause right here. They're going to pull on the backside, and then they let it go. You see both of them get through, clear out, make nice blocks. Creates great space for Sam Smith.
What a time for your longest run of the season in the state championship game. Empty set with the 5 wide receivers. Screen pass. Cooey. Couple of yards to the good before dragged down by Nick Shadley.
A little surprised. I saw him go empty. A lot of times when they go empty, Montague likes to run the QB draw. That time, Drew Collins, he reads something, so they still run the quick screen outside, but Clinton's done a good job on the quick stuff. They really come up from their cornerback positions, fight off the blockers, and able to get the receiver before they get going. So,
boy, also in on that tackle, Braden Randolph. That front jersey is full of his elbow blood. He's looking for more. Collins wants to throw for the corner. Oh, right on the money! What a dime as he dropped it into the basket of Sam Smith for their third hookup of the day.
Wow. I'll tell you what, Michigan Tech Huskies are pretty happy right now if they're watching this game, because Drew Collins is throwing some seeds. He is throwing the ball where it needs to be. We're going to get a look at a replay in a little bit, Shep, but man, what a touch. He's shown the crossing routes. He can put some velocity on it. He's shown the touch to the backs leaking into the flat, and that time, that's thrown it to the gray area, down deep, down the sidelines, and he just put it right there.
Yeah, he's got a nice touch on the ball, doesn't he, Rubes?
Yep. Seems very much in control as well. Very calm and poised.
Slight pause, because remember, turnovers and touchdown scoring plays can be reviewed.
Just poised. We're going to look here. Absolutely touchdown. Yep.
Yeah.
That's no-brainer.
What a look.
Good job by...
Our camera guys are right on it, man.
Good job by, Samuel Smith using his hand, not his elbow, which allows him to land in the end zone.
And Cooey's extra point is good. What a way to start the third. Montague's defense holds tight, and then their offense. Sam Smith, have yourself a day, young man. 5 catches, 3 of them for pay dirt. Montague has extended their lead to 12 on Fox Sports Detroit. What a day so far for Drew Collins. We knew he could spin it, but he's been more impressive than I think most people would have thought. Drew Collins is 14 of 17 for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. Here's the latest, Rob Rubick.
Yeah, he just stands tall in the pocket, and it's a quick delivery. And he's able to get Samuel Smith down the sidelines. And kids, you tell the kids that watch football on television, they all know how to dive for the pylon now. I'd never, ever thought of doing that. Now, everyone knows where that pylon is, and that football hits the pylon, it's a touchdown. And Samuel Smith's having a day as well, Shep. As you said, 3 touchdown catches. And this, getting back to Clinton now, this is a huge drive. I hate to do my best Tony Romo and say, this is a big drive, Jim. but it is a big drive for Clinton in the sense that they're not built to come back from 3 touchdowns down. And if they have to punt here and allow Montague to score, it could be a long afternoon or early evening for Clinton.
Do your best, Troy Aikman. It's better served, okay? Cooey with a deep kick. Aarons. And he's run over at the 22-yard line.
Aarons with the kick return from the 3-yard line.
Montague's been getting it done since the beginning of this game on the offensive side of the football. A little rub play early on for Samuel Smith's first touchdown, Shep. And then they just cross him up a little bit. They bring Samuel Smith on a slant inside once again with that crossing patterned by the receivers, and then just a nice touch pass. Once again, Samuel Smith we should call him the ghost, because he seems to get lost in a lot of patterns here today where he's running wide open. That time, the coverage was actually good by Nick Shadley, but just a better thrown ball. And Montague has been clicking on all cylinders.
6 touchdowns on the year for Smith coming in. He has 3 today. Breaking free and running really strong. Braden Randolph as he muscles his way to the 35-yard line. A pickup of 12 for a tough kid.
Grassfield also on the stop. First down, Clinton.
Must-scoring drive for Clinton here, you'd think, Rubes.
Yeah, absolutely. You're down right now. You're down 12 points. If you don't get a score here, you allow Montague to get it. Now, the only thing is if you could get a stop, but they haven't shown the ability really to stop Montague the entire afternoon.
Yeah, just 1 punt for Montague, 1 punt for Clinton. George Ames, the ball carrier there for a gain of a couple.
You know, Shep, you're built for bench press. You're short, you're compact, you have huge chest and huge arms. You're built to bench press a lot of weight. Clint is built to run the football. And when that can't be done because you trail, you're in trouble. Yeah. So right now they have to do what they're built for. Not bench pressing, but 6- and 7-yard gains. Get down the field and put some points on the board.
And it's hard. You have to be patient. You have to be willing to do this, right? Otherwise, you get out of the thing that makes you successful.
That's a great point, Matt. It is difficult for a coach not to start scoreboard watching. Okay, now wait a minute. Now, if we do stop here at 26-14, you have to, this is what we do. This is all we do. We have 4 or 5 plays we're going to run. We need to execute them and move the ball down the field and get points. Then hopefully the defense can come in and get a stop.
Well, you're going to do that if you keep giving it to 44, because Braden Randolph is having a heck of a day.
Over a hundo?
Look at that. Over 130.
Nice.
Averaging better than 10 yards per touch. On the season, 7 yards per carry. But he's doing it on the defensive side, too. They need a yard. And they got it. Randolph scratching and clawing his way close to midfield.
And that's a nice job of that offensive front blocking. When you look at Bowles and Muzine and Phillips inside, because you know this bloodied and battered running back known as Braden Randolph can get you a yard or two if you can just get a helmet on a helmet. They're doing a good job, even though Montague knows they're going to give it to him. They know they're going to run it inside, part of that little fullback trap inside. He's able to pick up a couple yards and move the sticks.
He's the guy who doesn't want a Band-Aid. He doesn't want an ace bandage.
I like that.
I like it too. Absolutely.
Tough.
Hurt earlier in the year. The week off actually did him pretty well. They're going to throw it here, and it is intercepted. Picked off by Michelson.
Out of character. We talked about being patient. How long as a play caller can you be patient? Can you keep running those 3 or 4 plays and have confidence that you can move the ball? So you try to cross them up. You say, okay, we're going to come out on a first down play and we're going to throw the football. Some late pressure by Tuggs Nichols, and then the ball just gets thrown really underthrown, and Trey Michelson is right there to pick it off. And now, if you're Clinton, you're Tamilak, number one, you don't want to be hitting it back like that again, but number two is your defense has got to step up, Shep. They've got to make a play. They've got to get the ball back somehow. If you allow Montague to go down and score here again, as the third quarter time will be running out, by the time they score, you're looking at a 3-score or 3-possession game heading into the fourth with a 95% run football team. It's tough.
Tough spot there for Tamilak and Clinton's offense. First time he's thrown the ball today. And with 4:21 left to go in the third, Montague has blood in the waters.
Well, you know, during the course of the year, Tamilak, he has thrown 3 touchdowns but 4 interceptions. So this, you know, is number 5.
I mean, you can understand why you might want to mix it up just a little bit. But
yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, but you got to make sure the right read, right?
Yeah. And I just wonder if this ball, but still, okay, let's say he doesn't get hit in the back, the ball carries more. There are still 3 blue shirts around the football. The coverage is there. No one clears. All right, pause it right here. If you can pause that. You need some people getting down the field, running off defenders. The passing game is predicated on tiers. If you want to throw that sail route here, okay, let's say this is the area. Let it go forward a little bit. Let's say you want to, that's backwards, go forward. There you go, stop. So if you want to throw it in here, then you need to have this guy. He's got to be going down here. He's got to get out of dodge to pull some of these defenders with him. You can't have 2 or 3 people running curl routes and hook routes, and there's no spacing in the same area.
Yeah, you're easily covered that way. You got to make yourself difficult to cover. On a 1st and 10 for Drew Collins. They'll keep putting it up. Big arm downfield. Has a man, and just out of the reach of Tug Nichols.
Wow. Wow. That is a beautiful ball. I was up here when you and Devin were calling the last game, and I think it was Brady Rose made a throw very similar, but that's through the receiver's hand. That's a great catch. If Tug Nichols comes up, that's a great catch. So high, defender's there, but it went through his arms. And that's an amazing throw. You know the pass I'm talking about, Brady Rose threw it about 50 yards, 45, 50 yards, across from that hash to this one.
Yeah, from the left hash to outside the numbers, and it was it was a well-thrown ball.
That was effortless by Drew Collins, too. It's the RPO.
Couple yards for Smith.
Well, this is good now. Clinton caught a little bit of a break. Montague comes out on 1st down. They try to strike blood. They go big on 1st down, and it's there. It just can't quite be pulled in. Now they get a stop on 2nd. It puts them in a 3rd and 10. This is a big play because it can keep them in this game and keep a lot of time on the clock. They need as much time as they can have with their offense, Shep. They can ill afford for that clock to keep ticking and Montague to eat it up here in this drive.
Dylan Everett, the lone tailback, kind of throwing down here, 3rd and 10. Slip screen. Works out well for him. Nichols could be gone. Tripped up inside the 10.
When you're going to run a funnel screen or a tunnel screen, whatever you want to call it, it's all about timing. When Nichols gets it, look at the linemen get there just in time to get the blocks. The inside lineman for Clinton run by it because Nichols is coming back against the flow of the defense. Half a second sooner, half a second later, it's just no play. But because it's timed perfectly, he's able to get into the funnel, or tunnel, as you like to call it, Shep, and make a big play.
Picked up 45. Now Collins dragging tacklers into the end zone. Touchdown, Drew Collins.
Touchdown, Montague. Drew Collins with a 9-yard rushing touchdown.
He's a
relentless.
good-looking player.
Oh, he is. And they're relentless offensively. They just come at you in so many. We talk about balance. This is just quarterback, a little bit quarterback power outside, I think. Although I didn't see him pull any linemen. It's just a replay. He pulls it. Gets a nice kick-out block by Brassfield, and then that's just a 6'3". And look at the legs on the thighs.
Yeah, he's 6'3", 210.
Yeah, he's not a thin 6'3", 150-pounder. He's got good legs, and he's going to get a little bit bigger when he goes up to Michigan Tech. And in the wintertime, he'll gain a lot of weight because it's hard to do anything because the snow is 6 feet high.
Look at the 4 touchdowns that he's accounted for, 3 through the air, 1 on the ground. And if you're already jealous of 5 and blue, understand this. His best golf is like in the high 70s, and he's just a senior. For all of us golfers out there, you shake your head and you say, man, the dude's on his way to a state championship. He's an outstanding player. He's going to play at the collegiate level. And oh, by the way, he can chip, putt, and drive the ball better than you and I, who've been playing for 20-plus years.
Definitely better than I can, Shep. I've seen your game. It's not too bad. Here's about golf. I was wondering, this is kind of a sidebar. If you're the golf coach, how do you punish your players? Go golf 18? Really? Okay. Go play 9 more. All right. He's like, yeah.
Go wash my clubs.
Yeah. Shep, Lisa, I hear Lisa tell you, Shep, go. You've been back. Go play 18 holes. Okay, huh?
Darn it.
How do you punish those poor golf kids?
Oh boy. Started because of Michelson's interception, capped off by Collins' run. 55 yards in 4 plays in a little bit more than a minute.
It's a good team. Tug Nichols also with the pressure on the backside on that INT.
33-14 now. Clinton trying to respond. Waning moments of the 3rd. Aarons trying to bounce it to the outside. Good stiff arm, and then ridden out of bounds at the 24-yard line by Isaac Junkin.
With the kick return from the 4-yard line.
Trevor Thompson.
Matt, the eyes in the sky for Montague today are former star quarterback Cody Cater. He's up in the booth. He's not down on the field. But it's very significant because this guy won back-to-back state titles in 08 and 09 for the Wildcats. Now he's their quarterback coach. So although Drew Collins' dad can certainly teach him a thing or two, Cody Cater is his hands-on coach today, and he's certainly learning a lot from him. And I don't know about you guys, but maybe the thought is this guy might have his own program to run someday.
Yeah, I could see that. He was a really good high school player, Rubes, and we saw him at Central Michigan and play there a little bit.
I think he went to Cincinnati right out of high school, then transferred to Central Michigan.
Right.
And we called his game. Now, they want to know which one he is. Well, he was 18 when I saw him last, I think. So I'm going to guess he doesn't look the same. So I'm not sure. We'll just say he's up there. Trying to look for the youngest kid. Look, we saw what somebody's waving at us.
They're all waving at us.
Think they're watching the broadcast, Shep? I think not.
Well, they're taking their offensive play calling off for just a short period of time, I suppose. On a 2nd down and 9 for Clinton. You know, folks, there are certain guys you remember when you watch them play, right? Certain guys you really grow to appreciate, because we don't see these teams every week. I'm telling you, you watch Braden Randolph play the game of football, the way he runs it, the way he, as a linebacker, plays the game, you really grow to appreciate a kid at the Division VI level, don't you?
Well, you appreciate the physicality and the intensity he plays with. He's leaving it on the field. We've seen a lot of that today. We saw a couple linebackers, De La Salle played extremely well. We've seen players here today, but you got to like it because they're running him a lot on offense, yet he's playing defense as well, and he just keeps competing.
Lehman thrown for a loss. First one to him was number 21, and Colton, number 12, Colton Blankstrom, number 12, and number 21, Tug Mickles.
It's just like Clinton right now. You see the body language. I'm walking off. The big fellas walking off the field. There's no hop in that step anymore. It can be a little bit demoralizing when you run this offense and all of a sudden you get stopped a few times and the other team keeps on scoring. It's tough. So Jeremy Fielder's going to have to, his biggest challenge now is to keep the kids engaged and keep them mentally in this game.
Smith watches it bounce out of bounds. And with 1:09 left to go in the 3rd, that potent Montague offense ready to take the field. Earlier today, Rubes had mentioned Warren De La Salle and Muskegon Mona Shores. Boy, J.C. Ford came in and gave Warren De La Salle a spark, but Brady Rose and Mona Shores provided to be too much.
So he's going to Ferris State, I heard.
He is. He's going to Ferris State.
AIT, what position?
My guess is that he'll do a little punt return, a little kick return.
Maybe
slot back, yeah. And you can do a lot of different things with him. Mona Shores back-to-back championships at the Division II level. Good hard run there by number 22, Dylan Everett. I mentioned his name a ton here today, but it was a good, strong run to start this drive.
Well, and that's a nice job. And talk about mentioning names. You got Christopher Kessler, Luke Booth, and Hayden McDonald, Walker Martin, Alex Wojcicki up front doing a nice job. We're giving a lot of the props to the skilled players because the balls get distributed all over the field, and a lot of props to Drew Collins. But none of this happens if that line doesn't protect.
You're right.
If that line doesn't create some seams in the running game.
1st and 10 for Collins and company. Montague on the ground. Everett spun out of 1 tackle, got to the 44. That was well earned.
Everett gets to the 44. Tackled by Ball and Campbell.
It should be the final play of the 3rd.
2nd down and 7.
And it will be. Montague heads to the 4th, up 33-14, hoping to hold on. And for that young man, Drew Collins, hoping to cap off a pretty special senior campaign. Well, speaking of special athletes, Hank Aaron was just that. He passed earlier today. Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred said his monumental achievements as a player were surpassed only by his dignity and integrity as a person. He symbolized the very best of our game, and his all-around excellence provided Americans and fans across the world with an example to which to aspire. Hank Aaron was a 3-time Gold Glover. He faced 21 Hall of Fame pitchers in his career and hit 72 homers off them. Never did he hit more than 47 homers in a single season, and yet he left the game as the all-time leader in that category before being passed by Barry Bonds. Hank Aaron, the all-time RBI leader, one of the greatest of all time, gone too soon.
Welcome back to Ford Field, where we could begin the fourth quarter. We're going to look at some of the combatants here today that helped Montague, the Wildcats, take a 33-14 lead over Clinton High School. And even though the numbers aren't that different, it's the passing yards, I guess, and the ability to run the ball as well for Montague that's been the difference. Clinton really has been a one-trick pony.
We saw a really good shot of both Collins and Smith. They have been the key guys on offense for Montague. Collins, 244 yards and 3 touchdowns through the air. He's also rushed for a score. And right there, his senior companion, Sam Smith, with 3 touchdown grabs on the day. And as you mentioned, Rubes, the offensive line has done a great job for Montague today. 3rd and long. This is Dylan Everett. What a run. Sliding his way inside the 30 and then spun around to the 24. Good stuff.
And a nice job. They're running power again. You can see these two guys, they're going to pull off this side again. And you see him kick out, run through. First one kicks out, second guy pulling, runs through, and the rest is left at Dylan Everett, who does a nice job of getting in the seam in a little second effort. A big game.
Picked up 21 on that one. It's 1st and 10. Collins keeps it. See you later. Second rushing touchdown, and Montague's starting to run away with it.
Touchdown, Montague. Drew Collins,
Now this is a replay, and we're going to take a look at it. We're going to pause it here at the beginning. Right here, let's watch this gentleman. He's going to be reading him. If he crashes down, which he does, see him crash down inside on Everett, he pulls it. It's that simple. If that defensive end crashes, you pull it. If he boxes or works straight up the field, you give it. You're optioning him, and that's just done perfectly. And talking, once again, when we talked to the dad and the head coach, he said, we read on the go. And I said, what did he? He said, I give the quarterback, Drew, all the choice to read plays as they're happening and also pre-read defenses.
Fair to say that he's well read? You better believe it. 3 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns for Drew Collins, and he and Montague have put up 40 on this championship Friday.
COVID-19 continues to spread, and at Sparrow, they continue their mission of protecting the community's health. Sparrow remains open and safe with over 115.
I wonder if that's the is that the COVID beard, or is that the playoff beard? Because the playoff beard is not as impressive because they started about 3 months ago, the playoffs, it seems like.
Well, I guess
the COVID beard would be even less impressive because that's been around forever.
I thought the playoff beard was only for hockey. It's in other sports too?
I have no idea. Okay. I just took it from hockey. I don't know. Might be. I couldn't grow a beard till I was about 30 anyway.
Yeah, still really. Yeah, remember, he's only 18. Yeah. So it's not a bad beard if you're 18 years young.
Bowie to pick off from the 40.
What is going through, you look at Pat Collins, we just showed the head coach of Montague. You're the coach of this team. You're heading the fourth quarter and looking good to win another championship that hasn't happened for quite a few years, and your son is playing like he is. Do you become a dad? When do you become a dad in this game, and when do you stop being the head coach?
Yeah, well, how do you not become a dad? And I've talked to him about that. I asked him, how do you coach your son? And you know what he said? I thought he gave a great answer. He said, I let my offensive coaches handle it.
He separates himself.
He separates himself. He says, there'll be days I don't even talk to my son at practice because I let my offensive coaches handle it. Right now, he might be becoming a dad right there, you know? And I wonder how much flashes back. Trevor brought it up earlier. How much it flashes back a little bit when he played in '92 and he lost in the States and the Class CC to St. Martin de Porres.
I wonder if I called that game. I may have. That was the first year I called the finals.
You may have, yeah. Right up the middle. That's Braden Randolph again.
Randolph tripped up by Smith at the 22.
It shows you how quickly things can spiral out of control for a team if you can't move the chains and you have to get out of your comfort zone.
And you look at the second half for Clinton, they've had 15 offensive plays, only 47 yards. We talked heading in, remember? Pat Collins said we need to go and make some defensive adjustments. Obviously, they knew what to do, and the players have executed it.
Lehman on the ground and hit right away. Good tackle by, actually that was Nick Shadley on the carry.
When good teams play offenses like this, one of two things is going to happen. The first thing that could happen is the offense starts executing, they start wearing you down, and the running plays get bigger in the second half. The other one is your team has seen them, your defense has seen them at speed now for an entire half. You start to understand the pulling, the down blocking. You start seeing things that fits the puzzle better, and all of a sudden defensively you play better. And I think that second is what Montague has done. They're defending this run game much better in the second half.
Zach Nelson with a good tackle to make it 3rd down and 3 for Clinton. 4 for 10 on this situation. And that'll be the 5th 3rd down conversion because of the extra effort courtesy of George Ames. Hard running to get that 1st down. They're picked up 7.
1st down, Clinton.
It's got to be challenging for Jeremy Fielder to keep his guys. Look, you're down big, right? We're not a big play through the air type team. Keep your guys engaged. Keep working on that next play, right?
Absolutely. And you're working not just on the next play, Shep, in the next series. You're working on next year. You're working on the future of your program. You're doing some really good things as Jeremy Fielder has done. So you want to try to build success. It's going to be tough for them to come back and win this game. Obviously, it's 40-14 in the 4th quarter. You're running football team. What you can do is you build for the future now. You start maybe inserting a few more players, get them in the game, let them see what it feels like to play in the state championship game. And we got an injured quarterback here. And that's, you know, we haven't given Derek Tomalak much love. But you have to remember, he's been the lead blocker in a lot of plays today. You know, he hands the ball off mostly. He had the 1 pass for the interception. But he's led a lot of those toss plays and those sweep plays. And now he's being carried off a little bit, and that's tough to see in a championship game.
They're going to bring in Davey Campbell to quarterback it. Campbell, a senior.
2nd and 5.
Now, he's one of the running backs that they use quite a bit.
Right.
You wonder now if we might see that fake power with all 3 going one way and Campbell pulling it and booting it.
A little bit of confusion there off the snap. And they had the guard pulling, Tyler Bowles pulling, and Campbell couldn't quite get out of the way in time, but it didn't matter to Braden Lehman.
Here's a look at what happened to Derek Tamlin when he plants. Just rolls the ankle a little bit, plants on the inside of it. It's hard to tell for me which, both of them look kind of harsh. You know, they weren't natural plants, a little bit sharp angle. I'm not sure which one it was.
3rd and short for Clinton. And there's a 1st down carry, and plunging forward, Braden Randolph.
Randolph stopped by.
Another thing we have to talk about, Shep, is
1st down,
the heat.
Clinton.
Now, we know we don't feel hot here. We're comfortable. But you got to remember, these kids have been practicing from late January or early January outside, a lot of them. Some are getting some indoor facilities, but you get hot and you can get dehydrated. And it's a tough situation.
Cramp up a little bit?
Yeah, well, that's definitely not a cramp. But I'm just saying, for the rest of this team, I'm surprised how the conditioning has not been that bad. I thought we'd see more kids cramping when they came indoors here today.
1st and 10 for Clinton. 1st man through. That's Randolph. Took a hit, but delivered one as well as he gets to the 49. Gained 4.
Randolph is tackled by Borjewski. Gain of 4 to the 49. Second down and 6.
On a toss sweep. Nick Shadley starts and stops and then starts up again. Dragged down from behind by Dakota Croft Wiegand.
by Crosswagen.
Flag on the play.
And we haven't talked much about this because it hasn't come up. How difficult when you're a Pac-Man type of team, 3, 4, 5-yard type of running team, when you get a holding penalty. It can just really destroy a drive. You're built to get 10 yards in 3 plays.
Offense number 5, 10-yard penalty, still second.
Now you have to get 20. And that's difficult when you don't have the ability to throw the ball down the field.
That's the first enforced penalty of the game, Rubes. That's how cleanly this one has been played. Derek Tomalak is starting to walk around a little bit. They may have taped it up a little bit tighter. Who knows? Doesn't want to come out. I wouldn't either. Look at this one by Randolph.
Yeah,
he's an absolute battler, isn't he?
Yep.
Just love the heart and the effort. Morjewski and Jarka in on the tackle.
I really think with 5:50 to go, 4-down territory, you know, is coach gonna, if he gets some positive yards, I can see him going for it on 4th down. I think the writing is on the wall for Coach Fielder. He understands that his team is not going to get the victory here today. But as I said earlier, Shep, it's what can we get out of this? And head coaches are always thinking, not just for the next play, the next game, the next year. They're always trying to build programs, at least the successful ones are.
On a toss to Lehman. Good block up ahead. Lowers the shoulder and gets to midfield. Tough, too, for Clinton because the changeover that's going to happen for their offensive line. 4 of their 5 guys up front are multi-year starters. Kozina, Phillips, Bowles, and Will Felts. Only Brandon Felts is coming back. The rest are all seniors. Nose of the football right in midfield. Tomalak now coming back in for Clinton. Good for him. He's going to run this 4th and 5 play.
4th and 5.
Rest up starting tomorrow, right? Here we go. On a toss to the right. And Randolph snowed under. Good play by Zach Nelson. Read it well, came up, tripped him up.
Randolph. Tackled by Warshawski.
5:14 left in this one. Montague trying to ice it away when we return.
Montague up big over Clinton here with just over 5 minutes left in the 4th quarter of this Division 6 game here at Ford Field. And Rob Rubick mentioned it earlier with some of the Clinton guys. You see the body language sag a bit with the score differential. However, there's one guy who won't be slumping his shoulders a bit, number 32, Tommy Burt. This guy has lettered in baseball, basketball, football, and cross country at Clinton. And then when the season of football got pushed back because of COVID, this guy went out for the soccer team, never having played soccer before. As a senior, he wasn't going to leave anything on the table athletically in his final year, including an attempt at something he'd never tried. So certainly, Rubes, this guy is going to go all out until this one's over today, regardless of the score.
Great stuff, Trev. You got to appreciate it. He's living in the moment. He understands the moment that this is my senior year. There's no do-overs. I love that.
The other thing is, as Smith breaks in to that 3rd realm of the defense up to the 35. Burt's have been a difference maker for him. I mean, it may be his first year playing football, but he's been a huge difference maker. He's also affected this Clinton team in different ways. He's a workout fiend. He loves the weight room. That's where you'll find him more oftentimes than not. And other guys have started to kind of pick up on that and gravitate toward that mindset.
And Chef, you talked about the size of Drew Collins. You look at Tommy Bird, like you said, there's a guy that's very familiar with the iron inside the weight room indeed.
Yeah, no doubt. It shows, too. Andrew Cooey, the junior backup quarterback, is in number 7. He's got it and tosses to his left. That looked like it was behind the line of scrimmage.
That was a fumble.
They're calling it an incomplete pass. And Montague gets the sense that they've got this one in the bag.
Yeah, you see him celebrating on the sideline. I'm still watching the game, and that was a backwards pass. That was a lateral. I thought maybe the officials didn't see it. But it looks like when Cooey got it, he faked it. He started attacking the line. That's the old school RPO, where you attack the edge and you can throw it to the wideout, and he threw it, but he threw it backwards.
Yeah, the referee had indicated it was an incomplete pass. Now they keep it on the ground. Zach Nelson with the carry.
Nelson, tackled by number 62, Luke Knight.
These are good snaps for a kid who will probably be your starting quarterback next year in Andrew Cooey. Threw for over 400 yards, rushed for over 100 at the quarterback spot during the regular season.
Working the play clock a little bit right now.
Sure. 3rd and 5 for him. Nelson spinning his way inside the 30 down to the 28-yard line.
Nelson.
We can go back a little bit here, Shep, and look at that RPO they ran where Cooey, I thought he threw it backwards. I don't know what type of look we have at it. Let's see, he attacks, he throws it from about the 31 or 30. Ooh, pretty close, huh?
4th down and 1.
That's a tough angle to see. He looked like he was about the 30 and a half or so. It's a tough angle to see, but the official was right there on the spot and said it was not a lateral. 4th down and 1. See, Montague, you can keep these seconds in the game here. The second team offense is in.
High snap handled by Cooey, and Nelson stood up, driven backwards. Second effort gets him back to the line of scrimmage, but shy of the 1st down yard marker. 3:04 remaining here in the Division VI state championship game. Montague, yeah, screaming to the camera, young man, you deserve it. Your team is about to be crowned a champion.
Back at Ford Field, where there's an offensive firework night for Drew Collins in more ways than one. You see him throwing the little slant on the RPO. He shows the touch to get the ball down the field as he finds Samuel Smith there. And he's done it with his legs as well. Coming in, Shep, we knew this was a dual threat quarterback. Everything we'd read on him. He's very versatile in the passing game as well as in the run game. Shows good speed, and you got to like the size this young man possesses at 205 pounds. And look at these numbers, are just really nice. And this is one right here. Look at that, 15 of 19. That's a high completion percentage at any level, let alone high school.
Yeah, those are not all bubble screens either. He was going downfield. That's the Menards' big money moments. 5 touchdowns accounted for Drew Collins. 3 through the air, 2 on the ground. He'll play some defense here. 3:04 left.
I truly think he has a bright future at Michigan Tech. I think, you know, when you try to place people where you slot quarterbacks, you look at him, and I think he's a definite GLIAC quarterback. Whether or not he was a MAC quarterback, he didn't get any offers, so I think he's going to be successful. I think Michigan Tech is getting a dandy. You said he wants to be get his MBA.
Yeah, it's a 5-year program at Michigan Tech, so immediately you think, well, you're going to Michigan Tech, you're going to get an engineering degree, because it's one of the best engineer schools in the country. But he's going to go up there, get his master's in business administration, and he was a master on the field today guiding this Montague offense, wasn't he?
Yep. We're looking at this Clinton offense, Shep, and you know, we had the privilege of covering one of the famous Clinton alumni. There's a give inside.
Braden Lehman.
Yep. We had to cover one of the famous Clinton alumni who went on to play Eastern Michigan, had a really nice career at Eastern Michigan. It's Matthew Sexton, who was one of the fastest guys on the team during his entire career at Eastern Michigan. He kind of started out as a possession receiver with the Eagles, but by the time he was done with his speed, he was one of the guys that really learned to stretch the field vertically.
It's a 3rd down and short for Clinton as we go under 2 minutes to go. A handoff to Randolph. Made a nice move. Sheds another tackler and another one. Steps through another one and gets inside the 30.
44.
He's closing in on 200 on the ground, not to mention the 8 tackles and a tackle for loss defensively.
Well, you can see the difference when you have 1s in the game and when you have 2s. This is going to look coming right at you. Let it go. You're going to see the fullback right in the middle. It's just that. Actually, this was the cross action. They offset Randolph. That's new. They usually have him in the middle of the tee. That time they had him as one of the halfbacks, so he could get the cross buck action, and he gets it. And the backups right now for Montague getting a great opportunity to play at a venue that is once-in-a-lifetime type of deal.
Look at those
Had
numbers.
a hard time bringing him down, and it's really solid numbers that he would tell his kids and grandkids and say, hey, Matt Shepard, the voice of the Detroit Tigers, called my high school football game. What a thrill for that young man.
I'm sure it's a bigger thrill to play in the game itself. 194 yards. And again, Rubes, on the other side of the ball, 8 tackles, couple for losses. He's been a force on both sides for Clinton. They just haven't been able to match the offensive power of Montague today.
No, it's a slippery slope when you run this offense. We talked about it in the open a little bit. We talked about it throughout the course of the game. There's so little room for error when you play another team that can score. And a team that can score balance with run and pass, which Montague can. When you're Clinton, you can't get behind the sticks or else you're in trouble.
Yep.
I think this is class by both coaches. You see them, no one's taking the timeouts or just running bodies in it. In this situation, I have seen coaches take timeouts for substitution to get maybe some seniors, maybe someone who's been part of your program and hasn't played a lot. And look at coming in. You see the quarterback, Derek Tomalak, hobbling, but still coming out and trying to gut it out and finish his game. So
wanting to lead his guys.
Props.
That tells you something about his leadership capabilities, that's for sure. Could be the final play of the game. Vol to the outside, dragged down.
Number 5,
just 8 seconds remain.
First down, Clinton.
What a feeling for Montague, huh? For the entire community. They beat Leslie in 2008. Beat Monroe St. Mary's in 2009 before losing a couple of years ago to Jackson Lumen Christie. Now they came back. They've got a motto there at Montague under Patrick Collins. It's a good one that rings true on this Friday, that's for certain. The motto is champions for life, being a champion on and off the football field. They are champions in Division 6 in 2020.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the game. Final score, Montague 40, Clinton 14.
People wonder how emotional it would be, how without fans being here, with only 125 people for each team. Right now on the field for those two teams, the victors and the ones that came in second, it's going to feel the same either way, Shep, because it's all about team right now. Celebrating with the guys that have been with you since early in the fall for this 5-month football season that's been unprecedented.
Well, the emotion kind of tugs at everybody watching, because you know Drew Collins is thinking about, I just did something with my dad that'll live with me for the rest of my life. Something my father couldn't do as a player, I did. But what made it more important, what made it more special, he did it with brothers on the football field and his father on the sidelines. That's what high school sports is really all about. We'll be back. Patrick Collins has been doing this 17 years. He raises a trophy the 3rd time in Montague football history, but none more special than this one in 2020 because of what his team had to overcome and because of the men he shares it with, including his son, Drew Collins, who was the best player on the football field today. That's 3 champions crowned on this Championship Friday. Centerville's first ever, Mona Shore's 2nd in a row, and Montague's 3rd time ever as well. Rubes, it was special.
Yeah, you see a great defensive effort by Centerville, and that's why they were able to get to Ford Field today, and they showed another good effort today. Mona Shore, led by Brady Rose, put on another stellar performance. And then this game here, and that young man fulfilling all his father's hopes, wishes, and dreams, and probably then some with his performance on the field today, and hopefully in the near future off the field as he attends Michigan Tech University. A great day for the Collins family.
He threw for 244 and 3 touchdowns. He rushed for 51 and 2 scores. That's it for our coverage of the Division 6 state championship game. Again, the final score, Montague 40, Clinton 14. Coming up at 7:30, it's the Division 4 state title game as Cadillac and Detroit Country Day square off. You can catch it live on Fox Sports Go. For my partner, Ron Rubick, Trevor Thompson, and our entire Fox Sports Detroit family, I'm Matt Shepard, saying thanks for watching the MHSAA Football State Finals right here on Fox Sports Detroit.